Hi, my name is Riley Seaburg, and I am a full-time entrepreneur, which means that I work for myself, I earn my own money, and I don't have a job. And today, I'm going to be teaching you, telling you, showing you how you can become a successful entrepreneur in 4 simple steps. All that in this video right after this. Okay, so this video is sponsored by HammerSport Marketing, which is why you guys saw that intro. HammerSport Marketing is a full-service digital agency and also a Facebook marketing partner as well. So, how do you become a successful entrepreneur? Everybody wants to know, right? Everybody's talking about it. Literally, I know my YouTube algorithm is just full of videos trying to teach you how to make money online, how to make money for yourself, how to do things without other people telling you how to do it, right? And honestly, like it's good, but there's a lot of content that's missing from this story, right? So some of you may know that life is not easy. Life is not all rainbows. Life is definitely not, it's not for everybody, right? So not everybody wins, okay? We all have our struggles. Like, it's ups and downs, it's roller coasters. Nobody lives a perfect life, okay? And the thing is when you decide to become an entrepreneur, a lot of the times you're off chasing a dream, right? So, you're working some type of dead-end job. You realize that you're not going to get anywhere, right? You're like, for me, my paycheck for twice in 1 month was suddenly missing, right? Didn't come through. So you're living kind of a shitty life, right? You're living unhappy, unfulfilled life, and you're like, how do I get out of this? Well, most people start looking around their house, right? Gary Vee says to look around your house, look in your storage units, like look places where there may be some items of value that you're not necessarily using. And so what do? You look around and you try to sell your stuff and you try to make some money, and then you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm an entrepreneur now. So I'm going to go and buy some other cheap stuff and sell it. And I'm going to get people's junk off the internet and I'm going to sell that to other people. And then you're getting caught in this rat race of trying to make money online, right? And making money online is not the same thing as being an entrepreneur. So I know a lot of people that make money online that do it very well. But they're still not necessarily entrepreneurs. They really just work for themselves, right? So the key difference in being an entrepreneur versus making money online is, like, honestly, it's the guts. It's how much you're willing to jump in, right? So when you decide to be an entrepreneur, you're essentially throwing away everything that could protect you, right? So a lot of people that are in the make money online industry, they're working for somebody else. They're doing freelance type projects. You know what I mean? There's always some other type of contract to come in. That type of work is not really building businesses, right? So entrepreneurs build businesses. They look out into the market and see where there's a need, and they realize that the market doesn't recognize there's a need. That's why that need hasn't been fulfilled, right? So in the time between them realizing that there's a need and that need being fulfilled, that entrepreneur gets zero recognition, gets fucking nothing. He gets shit, right? And sometimes that time could be 5 years, okay? And so what that means is you can literally be building something for 5 years and not have anything pay off, right? So the key difference between somebody who's an entrepreneur and somebody who's not is the person who's willing to put off the payoff, put off the thing that they would get out of what they're doing, right? They're willing to put that aside for the process of actually building it. So they're not building it for the thing that they think they're going to get. They're building it to learn. They're building it for the experience of building something. So really, what an entrepreneur does is they just build things, right? Now, it's super easy to become one, But the thing is you have to take these 4 steps before you can really make the commitment to be a full-fledged entrepreneur. Like, until then, you're just somebody who wants to go work for themselves, right? And that essentially means nothing. Okay, so the first step that you need to take is you gotta redefine success. Everybody has their own idea of success, and unfortunately for people in my generation and people like you, a lot of what we've seen from success has been on TV, right? Or on the internet. And we think that success is flying in private jets, carrying briefcases full of money, going to restaurants and eating off of fancy plates, driving fancy cars. That could be your idea of success. And if it is, and it really is, then go ahead and chase it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is for most of us, our idea of success is a little bit, it's skewed, right? So we know kind of what we want internally, but because we've been so focused externally for the majority of our lives, we have no idea what success really is because we haven't tapped into our core to find out what it really means to us. So we've been asking other people, hey, how do you get this? Hey, how do you become successful? We've been asking people who we think are successful, people who are a little bit further down the line in their career, in life, whatever. We think they're successful. So we ask them, hey, what did you do to get there? And then we do it, right? We write books about it. But the thing is those people have their own idea of success. And the majority of the time, they don't even think they're successful. So us unsuccessful people are taking success lessons from people who aren't even successful in their own mind, right? So it becomes a real aspect of the blind leading the blind, right? And that's a bad situation. When that happens, there's no wisdom. Nobody knows where they're going, right? And nobody takes the time to slow down and figure out what's really going on. And that's why you end up scrolling through Instagram. You know what I mean? That's why, people jump the gate at airports to take pictures of themselves with a private jet. That's why people duck down when they see a nice car and take a picture in front of it and act like it's theirs. It gets very strange, right? These things that we have going on in our head, these mental pictures, these mind movies that we have of success. And when it comes down to it, we really can't even pin down what that image is in our mind. So we keep chasing. And every time we get that thing that we think makes us successful, we realize that it didn't actually make us successful. So really, what we need to do is start back at the beginning and literally redefine what the word success means to us, right? So for me personally, my own idea of success is doing what I want to do when I want it, having enough money to do what I want to do when I want it, and helping the people that I want to help as soon as I can help them, right? So those are the 3 things for me that are super important, and those are my ideas of success. Doing what I want to do, having enough money to do what I want to do, and then being able to help the people that I want to help when I feel like I need to help somebody, right? So it's really like my true core values are service, right? So it gets down to when you're creating your definition of success, what you have to do is figure out what means the most to you, right? Like what do you really want? Why are you doing this? Why are you on YouTube right now? Why are you on Facebook? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you on social media? What are you actually looking for? And for the most part, most of us have never, ever taken the time to sit down and figure out what are we looking for? Like what are we trying to do? What are we trying to get out of this? And the thing is a lot of times we have a short-term definition, a short-term goal, right? And we think that's the success. But that's just the surface level of your idea of success. It goes deeper than that. It goes way deeper than that. And in order to really figure it out, you got to literally just sit down. You sit down in a corner somewhere, real quiet space, and you ask yourself, right? What's my definition of success? What would make me fulfilled if I could do it every single day? And then you go and do it. It's that simple, right? So that's the first step. Now, we already kind of touched on the second step, right? I said, go and sit in a dark corner, quiet corner. It doesn't have to be dark. Go and sit in a quiet corner and really ask yourself what's going on. In order to do this successfully, you have to humble yourself, right? So that's step 2. Step 2 is humble yourself, okay? Most of us, including me, we get into this game because we think we're a fucking god. We think that the world revolves around us. We think that we are the person that solves all the impossible problems, and therefore we deserve all the money, all the fame, all the respect, all the appreciation. We deserve it all. And the fact that you're not giving it to me right now when I'm talking to you and you don't know who I am means you're the asshole. That's all bullshit. That's just an ego game. It's all an ego game. And unfortunately, most of us, we don't even recognize when our ego is talking, even me included, right? It's hard to figure out who that is, what that is, and then we end up identifying with that fucking asshole inside of our head, and we think that's who we are, including me. I do that all the time. So the thing is you gotta humble yourself. You gotta get that voice settled down, right? You gotta get that shit out of your head so that you can really sit down and become a student again. Become a student of your own mind. Become a student of what's going on in here. Because when you can figure out what's going on in here, when you have it under control, when it's no longer spinning and sending you in 30 different places at once, then you can finally figure out what's going on. You can really sit down and ask yourself those deep questions and really get answers internally, right? So you got to humble yourself in order to do that. You got to. Okay, so the third step, it's going to blow your mind because you're going to be like, okay, this does not get me closer to success, okay? The third step, stay with me here, you got to work for free. You got to work for free. Now, there's a lot of reasons that I'm suggesting this, right? There's a lot of reasons that you should be doing this. There's a lot of reasons that if you talk to a mentor and you ask them, hey, what's the fastest way to become successful? They'll tell you, work for free. Now, why? Well, let's start with the non-obvious reason first, okay? The act of working for free humbles yourself so much that you're forced to put that shit aside and no longer listen to that thing that thinks it needs to be paid. So you're literally you're putting yourself through Robert Greene calls it the apprenticeship phase, right? So when you start your entrepreneur journey or any type of career, you start the apprenticeship phase, okay? Now, if you humble yourself and you realize that you don't know everything, then the question becomes, how do you start learning, right? And not only that, but how can you start learning so that it's at the least expense to you, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to get your skills up, okay? Like, everybody comes in not knowing shit. Anybody who says that anything else is fucking lying. They might have had a career, but when you come into this place, to this fucking enterprise of being an entrepreneur, everything you learn in your career goes right out the window. So everybody starts at ground zero. Okay? The thing is a lot of people don't realize that they started at ground zero. They don't understand that where they are is this the start, right? So a lot of people will hang out at the start and think that's the top. Okay? It's not the top. So my point is when you start working for free, okay, the first thing is you limit your expenses. You limit the the courses that you need to buy. You limit the software, okay? Because what happens is you start using what's called OPM, other people's money, to further your skills. Okay, so let's say somebody hires you to do SEO and you don't know SEO. Well, then you got to learn SEO, right? But they just hired you to do SEO and you're doing it for free for them. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you the time, the space, and a lot of times even the money to learn the skills to become an SEO practitioner, right? So they're giving you the space, they're giving you the sandbox essentially, and they're giving you the risk-free way to learn in reality how to actually do something. And the thing is when you're an entrepreneur, what you learn real quick is when you stop working for free, then the onus to learn and the financial responsibility of that learning then resides on you. And every time, like, the learning gets more expensive, right? Everything becomes more expensive. And a lot of times the only way you learn is through making mistakes. And so those mistakes become costly. But when you're working for free and you're using OPM, other people's money, the mistakes, they bear no financial responsibility on you. Okay, so other people are going to be paying for those essentially mistakes. And for you, it's good because you get to learn from them. Okay, so that's the first reason, right? The second reason is nobody fucking works for free anymore. Nobody works for free. For real. Nobody. Look at any industry that you're trying to work in and go around to 10 people that you know in that industry. Ask them when the last time they worked for free was. I guarantee you they're going to look at you like you're fucking crazy. Okay? So, working for free goes on the opposite end of the spectrum. I can't remember the book I read, but they talked about how the fact that you always want to kind of go against the wave, right? So airplanes take off in the wind. When you're surfing, you swim up to the wave and then you ride with it. So what we're doing here is we're going against the grain, right? And we're going to use that grain to propel us forward, okay? So the grain, the most people are going to charge for their services. Because you're offering them free, you're literally scooting above every single person, okay? And so you're becoming known as that person that offers those services. And the thing is you can only work for free for so long. There's so many hours in a day. And once people find out that you're working for free, once people find out that the results that you get are worth paying money for, they're going to want to pay money. And here's the thing. Your calendar is going to get booked up because everybody wants free shit, okay? You're going to realize that there's some people in there that are bullshit, and then those people are going to get sifted through real fast. But those people that are bullshitting are holding up time spots. So when you're talking to the people that are going to pay you, when you're saying that to them, I'm booked up, you're not going to lie. You're not lying to them. You're actually booked up, right? So because of that, they're going to want to pay you, and they're going to want to pay you a lot. So what you're doing is you're literally creating demand out of nowhere. So you found your corner of the market. You started working for free. The person that you were working for is so enamored with the work that you've been doing that they're telling all their friends. Now, all their friends want this work from you, right? And then if you end up working for those guys, they're going to tell all their friends. And that's how this works. So you can do this online. You can do this in person. It doesn't really matter. But step 3 to becoming a successful entrepreneur is you got to work for free. Now, this one, the last one, I'm telling you right now, if you learn this shit, it's going to make your whole world, right? You're literally going to be able to create whatever you want out of nothing. Now, that sounds like magic. It sounds like bullshit. It sounds like wishful thinking. You can think whatever you want, but it's true. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about programming. I'm talking about coding. I'm talking about HTML, JavaScript, CSS, you know what I mean? Node, PHP, back-end servers, infrastructure, Google Cloud. I'm talking about that shit. Everybody knows that this stuff is just getting more and more important. Our society is adding more and more weight. The fact that you are watching me right now means that there is probably an engine running an algorithm that's providing this fucking video feed to stream across your your fucking your screen in probably HTML5. You know what I mean? So it's being flash rendered. Understanding like what those things do, and then being able to create them literally out of nowhere because you know how to code is going to be a super powerful thing. It already is a super powerful thing. If you look at the valuation of almost any tech company, it's like unusually large, and that's because of the fact that like it's just code. Once you have the code, you can do whatever the hell you want with it, and you can literally make anything out of code. I've been personally, I learned C++ in high school, and I joined the Army, and so a lot of my programming was like systems programming and interface programming. But I've been getting a lot more. I use Unix now. I use the Ubuntu command line, and I'm telling you, man, it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. One, you'll understand how your computer finally works, and you realize, oh, it's not really broken. But two, if you start okay, let's say right now you decide you're going to learn to code. It's probably going to take you 6 months, 3 months to learn a language and become proficient in it, right? Now you're a web developer, right? You're a back-end programmer. You're a full-stack engineer, whatever. Everybody's talking about getting jobs, right? Oh, you can get a job at $90,000 a year if you know fucking Laravel or Ruby or whatever. You know React. I would suggest that as an entrepreneur that is learning how to code, you don't go and work for somebody, but you make some shit that the market needs, right? So, step 1, redefine success. Step 2, humble yourself. Step 3, work for free. You can do all of these things while you're learning how to code. Learning how to code really makes you face whatever insecurities, inadequacies, whatever you think about yourself when you're learning something new, especially learning how to code. It really brings all that shit up. It brings it up hard, and the cool thing is you can conquer it while you're learning how to code, and you can literally put yourself through your own hero's journey every time you create something new. Every time you start a new project, you can put yourself through a hero's journey. And the real secret to becoming successful is to put yourself through as many hero's journeys as possible. Some of you may be familiar with the hero's journey, some of you may not. Essentially, a hero's journey is the hero, he lives in a safe place, he has a very comfortable dwelling environment, and then he's called to action. He's called to service by some random thing, some type of event, and he must go off and face the unknown. And then he's going to go off in the unknown, battle the fucking dragon, and bring back the gold. Okay? When you're programming, the gold you're bringing back is the software. And the reason these technology companies are so valuable is because the software that you created out of nowhere is really extremely valuable. And there are not many people in this world that understand not only how to code, but how to put those things together into useful services. There's a lot of people that know how to program. There's a lot of people that can write code. But those people take orders from other people. Now, what I'm trying to get you to understand is if you understand how to code, you won't have to take orders from anyone ever again. But you have to put yourself in the right mindset before you start learning how to code. Otherwise, you're going to end up being an employee that's working for somebody that's just furthering somebody else's idea, right? Now, if that's you, this video is not for you. I'm telling you, right? Like this channel is not for you. This stuff's going to be way too polarizing for you, and it's not going to make any sense, right? But if you're that person that's had this weird idea in your head, you're like, oh, maybe this is possible. I'm telling you right now, if you learn JavaScript, right? If you learn Node, you can build it. Like, you can for real. Like, no joke. So take that thing out of your head. Sit and ponder it for a little bit, but you can make that into a reality. Whether it's building a video game, whether it's making a virtual reality like infrastructure, or whatever that idea you have in your head, you can make it a reality. And actually, that thing, you're supposed to make it a reality because that's what's going to make you successful. And you're never going to feel successful until you start working on making that thing a reality. So, that's all I got for you. This was kind of a long video, but I really wanted to break everything down like completely. I want to kind of smash all these fucking fake ass ideas that we have about these fake ass entrepreneurs. I'm telling you right now, almost everybody you see on camera is fucking bullshit. They have a team. It's not just them. It's, you know what I mean? Like, they're outsourcing their production. I'm telling, dude, it's not worth it. It's like, don't get caught up in the glitz and glamour. This is real fucking life, okay? There are 4 steps to really becoming a successful entrepreneur. And that's it, man. All you got to do is learn. There's no fucking secret to this. You just got to sit down and do the hard work. And if you do it consistently, people will recognize it. And that's how you become successful. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in marketing, go to HammerSportMarketing.com. And I'll see you next time.